Welcome. Welcome to the laughing time. What's going on? This is the Dairy Milkers products meeting, isn't it? Dr. Trump has invited us. Anyways, we're here to talk about is laughter still the best medicine? And those of you know me, I take this very seriously. I hope that you've had a look at your self-evaluation. You've done your pre-test, and I'm going to give you a little bit of information, and you're going to do a whole bunch of audience participation, and if you don't, we're going to make you feel uncomfortable. Okay, and then you're going to do your post-test, and then you'll decide. Whenever you see one of these little figures, it could be a child, it could be a woman, it could be an adult, it could be a young guy like me, but if it says time for a laughing break, that means that you participate. What are the types of laughter? Well, there's the genuine, spontaneous, or called Duchenne laughter. Now, I'll tell you a little more about Duchenne in a minute. So that would be... I'm laughing at you guys. Can't you see it? My gosh. The simulated laughter you'd hear on TV or radio. The stimulated laughter, misspelled, and that's a tickle. So with the permission of the person on either side, if you give them a tickle, see if you can get them laughing. Hey, I like it. Let's mix this up here. Woo! The next form is the induced laughter. I'm now going to turn this valve, and nitrous oxide is going to take us all the way. Okay. And then, unfortunately, we have also pathological laughter. Sarcasm, aggressive, self-defeating. All the four above are very beneficial for us. However, pathological laughter does not have the benefits that I'm going to describe today. So let's go with positive laughter. Duchenne laughter is relaxed, spontaneous, unforced laughter. It's what we do. It's highly socially interactive. And how we know what Duchenne laughter is, it was named after Boulogne, it was Duchenne de Boulogne. He was an interesting French neurologist, and he discovered that when people laugh spontaneously, they involuntarily contract the muscles around their eyes, and I'm going to be watching for this, and that's called the orbiculo-oculi muscle. So if someone's faking a laugh, they're not going to have these little laugh lines here. That's how you know. So you guys are going to be secret agent men. All right. It's usually emotionally relevant to the situation, and it's stimulus-driven. Quite often, we laugh at our own little misfortunes and or those of others. You can see someone's a little forgetful here. You know what? These guys aren't getting it. We need to clown around. What's going on here? Come on, let's get some people out here and let's make some clowns from everybody. Yeah! Woo! Okay, let's go. I never quite made it in Barney bring them, but there we go. So we are distributing through the crowd a few red noses. And if you get one, you have to wear it to the end of this talk. Yeah, woo, woo, woo. And that sounds better. I hear a little bit of tittling laughter in there. So just for you to know how important laughter is, the average 4-year-old laughs 400 times a day. The average adult laughs 17 times a day, and to stay healthy, you need to laugh at least 50 times a day. And if I'm lucky, I'll get 50 laughs out of you in this next 45 minutes. Come on. Anyways, it's priceless, fun, free, easy to use, contagious, powerful health benefits. Powerful health benefits. I'm telling you, this is the best snake oil you can get. Roaring laughter is more contagious than the flu. I'm going to do a forced laugh. There we go. Yeah, you're getting it. And then when I do a forced laugh, then you see what a silly ass he is, and you start laughing at me, and then I laugh at your spontaneous laugh. We all laugh spontaneously. So typically we start with a smile, and the brain gets primed, and then we start to join in. So laughter progression, the higher you laugh, the better for you. So smile a few chuckles, that's kind of where we start. A hearty laugh. Come on, everybody, a hearty laugh. How about a real belly laugh? Well done. Okay, and that goes to falling out of your chair and rolling on the floor. How many of you remember doing that when you were a child? Laughing so hard you fall off the dining room chair, wherever it is, and onto the floor. How many are you doing that as adults? Great, there we are. Okay, so more of that. When did you last have a real belly laugh? Today. How many had one today? How many one had yesterday? How many had one this week at least? This month? Christmas? Can't remember. Oh, you need to go to the earlier lecture. Maria Chung could tell you about that one. So, if you want to make a belly laugh, you have to have the right anatomy. Here we go. So, what is the, boy, that's hot. The evolution significance of laughter. Well, the evolutionary significance of laughter is that it's sort of nonverbal behavior shared with the apes. And the laughter theories of why they laugh was it was a signal of social interest. Create a positive attitude in observers and facilitates interaction. Really, it came down to getting a mate. Funny guys got more mates than the non-funny guys. And it promotes social bonding at group level. So here we are. Male. So an ape laughs with a brief inspiratory and expiratory form of and a human laughs with a series of expirations but no breath. That's the difference. We're moving up in the world. Oh, hey, you guys ready? How about time for a laughing break? Who's ready? Kiss me, baby. So, how we do? And now for something terribly serious. We'll move on. Laughter is universal. Only harmful effects of laughter that I've been able to discover: falling off a balcony in fits of laughter, operating a 30-ton truck while in stitches of laughter, laughing at, not with your wife's significant other, and a hearty laugh while eating a hot dog and choking on it. So what are the health benefits of laughter? There are many. There's a man by the name of Cousins, a very interesting guy that was a publisher with, I think, one of the major magazines in the United States, and he got very serious arthritis, Norman Cousins. And his arthritis was crippling him to the point that he was unable to continue doing work. So he read up on laughter, and he went and rented a whole month's supply of Candid Camera, went to a hotel room, and literally laughed himself better. And he documented that in his book, Anatomy of an Illness. It's really a good read. I'd recommend it. There is some truth to it, and real truth, and you'll agree. So there's many benefits, health benefits from laughter. Pain relief, immunity boost, mental health, spiritual lift, heart health, social interaction, pediatric care, aged and cognitive impairment, and a whole bunch of other things. How does laughter work with pain? Well, it actually reduces pain. Laughter increases our tolerance to pain because it activates the endorphin system. All these little molecules of morphine-like substances that we make in the body when, in fact, we're in certain experiences, and laughter is one of those things. And the neuroimaging confirms that the receptors are more affected and there's more of an uptake with endorphins when people laugh. And in fact, the harder they laugh, the longer the effect lasts, up to 2 to 3 hours in some cases. It also relieves muscle tension. Pain often comes with muscle tension. And when people have muscle tension, it contracts, particularly in the neck and upper back. How many people get tension headaches? What's happening there is the muscles tighten and they squeeze the blood vessels that go up into your scalp, and they literally reduce the oxygenation of the tissue. And as you know, if you have a bad cramp, that's a muscle with no oxygen. It's the cramping, if you like, effect of the lack of oxygen in the muscles. But laughter loosens us up and helps relax muscles. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Laughter more than just respite, is more than just respite from pain and sadness. It can give us courage, help us find strength in difficult times. It shifts our perspective quite often from a very subjective, inward, worried, struggling situation to a much more stand back, more objective ability to look at your situation and manage it more effectively. It helps us find new sources of meaning and hope, and it helps you feel better in the moment. And this is regardless of whether you have an illness or not. Hey! Hey! I like this one better. Everybody, home, home. Okay. Do you always follow like sheep? Here we go. Don't think it likes it. Don't think so. And this one. Oh man, oh my God, where'd that dog come from? All righty, woo. Well, I got some laughs out of you, there you go. I paid a lot to get that dog. So laughter also enhances immunity. How many of you remember when you were doing exams, how stressed out you could get, no matter what level, whether it was elementary, middle school, high school, university, whatever? Everybody remember the stress of exams? And pounding it out and worrying and fretting and trying to get those projects in. Well, those were very stressful situations, and often they went on for a week or two. And how many of you remember getting a cold almost immediately after the exams were over? And the reason is the stress of being mobilized to deal with that for a prolonged period of time dampen your immunity. So that also happens with illness. People that have cancer, for instance, the cancer can affect their immunity. Often they're receiving surgery and or chemotherapy, which further can impact on their immunity. Laughter, and they've done so, I don't have the study up here, but I have the reference for you. Laughter can, in fact, enhance immunity in every one of these criteria. The activation of the natural killer cells, which gobble up cancer cells, the active promotion of the T-cell proliferation, which is a general fighting mechanism, and increasing infection-fighting antibodies. So in the next time you come back in your next life and you're going to have exams, you just have to laugh your way through the exams. You'll be fine. Laughter enhances our mood. This gentleman is suffering from anxiety. Anxiety, depression, pain are very, unfortunately, closely related. And when people are anxious, they make these stress hormones, and that impacts on making the pain receptors more sensitive so that people that are anxious and in pain have a lot more pain. But similarly, if you're worrying about a variety of other things, your treatment, your family, a whole bunch of other things going on, you can see how a good laugh might make a heck of a difference, particularly for anxiety and depression. So laughter is good for mental health. It feels good, it adds joy and zest to life, it reduces fear and anxiety, improves mood, enhances resilience, induces relaxation response, and helps to relieve stress. How many of you people have actually experienced some of these benefits? Yeah. But why don't we use it more? I'm here to tell you to do it more. Laughter enhances our social relationships, strengthens relationships, attracts us up to others, and enhances teamwork, helps diffuse conflict, promotes group bonding, and increases intimacy. All kinds of intimacy. That's good. I'm getting somewhere. These guys are warming up. Sounds like you can relate to this team here. All gropers, are you? So, time for another laughing break. Can you believe it? They come so fast. Who's ready? All right. Come on. Who's ready? I need Oma. All right, here you go. I'm going to play this 3 or 4 times. It is so funny. This is the funniest. She's eating a piece of bratwurst, or trying to. Look at this lady. Oh my God. Good one, you guys. All right. So, how about that? Laughter raises our spirits. You feeling it? You feeling it? The whole room is warming up. Yeah. So laughter enhances the human spirit. They did some interesting studies with patients with breast cancer and found laughter, the patients found the laughter group was spiritually uplifting. The humor was an element of spirituality because it was transcendent. It helped people get above and out of whatever it is that they were feeling and experiencing. And that's not just, cancer, it's everything. Any illness, any chronic illness, pain, heart, you name it, any organ that's affected. It is a very helpful technique. And interestingly enough, it's only been an area that's starting to be studied much more intensively. And I think we're going to find more and more humor therapy. Humor therapy can be, or our humor therapy, it can be jokes. I've told a few today. It can be videos, movies. It can be clowns. It can be, stage things. It can be, just sharing situations and the funny things that happen in our lives. And it helps people get a sense of coping as well as a sense of self-control. So this young lady has been managing with a difficult illness, but she's participated in laughing therapy and it's made a huge difference to her. And she assessed that I could use this. Laughter and heart health. Well, it's also good for your heart. We heard today that we need to look after our hearts. So it lowers the stress hormones, that adrenaline and noradrenaline that I was talking about earlier, about which tends to contribute to those muscle spasms and to your immune system. It increases the good cholesterol. It decreases inflammatory cytokines which destroy or damage our cells, and it increases blood flow by relaxing blood vessels. Laughter therapy is good for the age. Well, none of us hear of that problem. I mean, I don't know, 35 inside, I don't know what you guys are. My wife says I'm only 9 some days. But it improves social interaction, it improves sleep and depression, and when combined with exercise, it improves overall activity, bone density, and diabetes control. And most importantly, it improves quality of life. And it does for us as well. So, I can't hear them, but I'm pretty sure they're fighting over me. There's a hearty laugh. Now, that's one belly laugh. I got it. Great. And this poor guy, he's trying to find his control. Okay. So, we don't stop laughing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop laughing. And my sense of this group is that you guys have got long, happy lives. I've had some wonderful responses. There's other places where humor can be really important. And at our hospice at St. John Hospice and all across our city and across the country, humor plays quite a big role for people towards and near the end of life. And the reason is, what they've done, some interesting studies, I've got the article at the bottom there with the citation, but humor is usually spontaneous and frequent, often initiated by the patient, more than 70% of the time. It is part of everyday hospice life. It might be a little bit of the gallow humors with some of the staff, or you know what I mean, or it could be, but it's found to be a lubricant to the human social process. And it helps engender hope and maintains patient self-esteem. And my personal experience is that I find humor in the hospice, in the palliative care unit, in the wards, in people's homes. And humor is an important part of our existence and being. Time for a laughing break. These are all pictures of me. This is the most famous. Tim Conway, here you go. Come on. Come on, baby. How do I get this open? It should just go. I am, the arrow. Oh, gee, thank you. Do you know do you realize how helpful she's been today? Can you hear the volume? Look at the patient. Look at the patient. Like they say, that's all, folks. Thank you.
Any questions? If you have, talk into the mic because we are recording.
What? Have you ever seen anybody's eyeballs fall out before?
My question is, what do you do when your partner or significant other has no sense of humor?
Keep trying. You can actually go to courses on laughter. I would strongly recommend it.
I got it.
Wonderful, great audience. Thank you. Oh, another question?
Have you got a time for a funny story about my
Yes.
sister?
Please.
When my sister died at 52 of cancer in Australia, and it took 6 months before we had a memorial in New York where she'd lived. And that was partly because my parents refused to pay airmail for her ashes to go there, and which would have annoyed her in real life if she'd been alive. She liked to travel first class. But anyway, when we had the memorial, it was really more of a sharing funny stories, because my sister was a very funny person. She was the kind of person when she walked into a room, everything stopped and everyone looked at her. And she lived a very busy life and had volunteered. I think this was a musical soiree she was going to at someone's home, and she had been cooking a pavlova for them. Well, if you know pavlovas, they're meringue, white meringue, sugar. Anyway, being too busy, she forgot about it, and when she looked, it was black goo. So she put it on a plate, arrived late at the soiree, flounced into the room, put the plate in front of Beethoven's bust and said, "There's Beethoven's last movement."
Wow. Diane?
I can tell you that laughter and humor is what has kept me married for 25 years. It's probably the only thing that's kept me married for 25 years. And I also wanted to mention that I work part-time as a stand-up comic. And most stand-up comics will tell you the reason we do it is because there's something wrong with us, and laughter helps us get over it. There's not a stand-up comic out there that doesn't have some kind of a illness, a scar, depression, anxiety, and that's the tool that we use to survive.
Using anything about my personal health.
Just a quick one on the Beethoven theme. So Beethoven is getting blind, living in Vienna, and he has a dresser named Rudy. And one day Rudy stomps away from Beethoven. He said, "That's it, I quit." And he goes down the stairs and up the street. Beethoven chasing after him says, "Rudy, you can't leave me." And Rudy says, "Well, you just abuse me all the time. Why do you think I'm leaving? I can't help you." And Beethoven says, "Well, you have to stay because you're my very inspiration." And Rudy looks at him and says, "Me? Ha 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 ha."
Okay, well, you can just have a little glass of water. If there's no more questions, anybody else have some good jokes for us? We're a little ahead of time, but that's okay because we can do some more. Yeah, right.